Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever for a 6v6 played on the map Tesla Island. Let's go ahead and get into player introductions, starting with Team 1 in the northeast and ending with Team 2 in the southwest. Let's go ahead and start with the westernmost player for Team 1. He is a very serious man. He is going first air as a yellow UEF. His name is Sir Dingle Dongle. Then we can move up to the northeast of him with the purple Seraphim. He's been on the channel many a times, and he is choosing a horrible faction today, but his name, as always, is going to be Maximus Triple X. Then down to the south of him, we see ourselves a maroon UEF, a very beautiful player with a name similar to mine. You may have seen him on Guilecast. You may have thought that this was me, but it is not. He is much better than me, and his name is Willow Wispy, or Willow Wispy. He changed his name a little bit. We're going to call him Willow Wisp. As we move on to the east with the brown UEF going first land by the name of Tie Dye. Then up to the north of him, we have a bright red Aeon best faction going first land, and his name is Born. And I think that, like, he was being searched for. Isn't that the name of the guy from, like, Mission Impossible or something? I don't know. Answers in the comments. As we move down to the south with the Cyan UEF best color going first land by the name of Parius. And then we can move on to Team 2, starting with the easternmost player. This time we have ourselves an orange Aeon going first land, best faction, and a beautiful name indeed. It is Matches. Gonna burn your house down. As we move on to the green UEF going first land by the name of Clint089. And he's building his Hydro and walking over to build more mexes. As we move up to the light blue Cybran going first air by the name of Cybran Commander, which is very fitting. You know what? I really like it. The Cybran Commander of Cybran Commander. And then we have a white Cybran to the west of him going first land, and he has a very, very cute name. It is, of course, Buttons. Then over to the south of him, we have it's also kind of brown, tannish color UEF going first land by the name of Not Dory. So it is definitely not Dory, it is Nemo or something, I don't know. And last but not least, of course, we have a green Aeon going first land, ending on a high note with the best faction by the name of Ubuntu. He is a Linux enthusiast. And we can now take a look at the map. It has a very interesting kind of setup. We have a lot of water, but also a huge focus on this kind of central land area. There are a few choke points, but we do have good possibility of land battles taking place, or fire basing, if that is what these players opt in for. A grand total of probably 16,500 reclaim. I'm guessing that's around about what we're at. Mass being sent to Not Dory, and right now we have a lot to talk about. So we have these other smaller islands in the side, a few mexes in the water, but the main focus is going to be this area in the center. This is where the majority of the mass on the map is. You need to get here. Not to mention that here in the middle of the map, we have like 4,000 reclaim just right here, and that's not even counting the living structures, which probably add a few hundred more to that. So we do expect to see these players get hot and heavy in the middle with some comm on comm and unit on unit action, and it should be a grand time for us today as we meander our way into the mid game. But for now, we have to get through the early game first, so let's go ahead and bump the speed up to +0. We've slowed it down for player introductions, and we're gonna see how these players decide to punch each other in the face. While we wait for them to get on with it, we will of course do the obligatory YouTuber thing. I'd like to tell you to go down below this button and click some damn buttons, this video, and click some buttons, not below this button. Buttons is right over here, don't worry, we know where the buttons are. If you could go down and click the buttons, you know, the subscribe and like button, that would be really nice. Or you can dislike, but either way, hit the bell and subscribe, because, you know, it's great for the channel. And of course, Thank you for watching. Now, first little bit of action we have Sir Dingle Dongle taking a very serious note here. He has built himself a transport, dropping off one engineer to grab those 3 mexes in the water, and the other transportees, those engineers, gonna be making their way up north to grab that little island that we talked about a little bit earlier, and of course we will see them get on with it. We also have a few other air units kicking around for various players, but right now this is the most important one on the map. Getting off those engineers is so important, and he drops them all individually. Such a nice guy, stopping his engineers from having to run around so much. Also, we have a transport now out from Parius, and that means that, honestly, Team 1 doing a lot better at this entire expansion thing, because there's still not a transport in the sky for Team 2. So all of these islands that should be contested, they're just going to start getting handed over to Team 1 if these players don't get their transports out onto the map very soon. So in comes the transport. It has 3 engineers for Parius, and it is going to drop, I think, all of them just right here in the middle of the map, and that's gonna be that as far as this transport is concerned. We also have a transport coming out from Maximus XXX. Everybody on Team 1 just super duper interested in these transports, and he's gonna be going for a bit of a spicy play. He's gonna be placing a lot of engineers right here in the middle. He wants to steal some reclaim away. Unfortunately for him, though, he's gonna drop right next to Cybern Commander's Cybern Commander, and that means that these engineers are not gonna live a very long or fulfilling life. In fact, they're just gonna die, and they're gonna increase the value of this reclaim field for Cybern Commander as he chases down and murders those poor civilians. And with that, I think all of the transport play, at least for the moment, is done. We do have engineers coming out over here. We have an engineer out from Clint, gonna try and take over this island. We have an engineer out over here for Ubuntu to try and grab his. But really, Sir Dongle and Pyrus are really getting set up a lot faster on these islands than any of the other players, and it's really down to just them getting those early transports. Also, the transport critically made it out for Maximus. He always has the choice of going for another cheeky play like that. I think he really wanted those engineers to survive to make these mechs upgrades go a lot faster, but for now he's still able to get reclaim. Speaking of reclaim, here in the early game, Born really getting the lion's share, and you can see here that he just has so many engineers reclaiming at any given time, also getting a lot of mechs as 2T2. These players are scaling their economies very well, and overall the reclaim looking pretty good for him. Not Dory in the opposite position, doing pretty well for himself as well. And we continue to wait and just see how these players are going to get their first bits of aggression down. We had first blood coming out from Cybern Commander, killing off all those engineers, and now he's reclaiming them. Their corpses belong to him. He takes your life, and then he takes your corpse. He is a very scary force to be reckoned with here in the middle. And over here to the west, we have a transport that is empty out from Maximus. I think that might be a mistake. Maybe he forgot to load something into that, or maybe he just selected all of his air units. Fun fact, if you want a pro tip from me, if you go in here and you look at fighters, do select all fighters for selecting all your fighters. It's much better than select all air. I put it on Control A. It's a very good thing. The F1 key brings up all of your key bindings, and you can bind anything. So make sure you're doing that if you want to improve your little bit of micro, make yourself a little bit faster. But of course, not necessarily. The key thing in this game is learning how to manage your economies. Learning how to manage the units and what units to build is much more important than, of course, having hotkeys, but it doesn't hurt to learn those. Build good habits, not bad ones. And here in the middle, we're starting to see these point defense out from the civilians. They're going to start taking some good damage, and the first one that's going to go down is going to go down on this northern side. Now Maximus and Sir Dongle able to get into this particular reclaim field, but they need to be careful. There's still 2 more PD that could threaten either of them, and Maximus really taking a beating on the calm down to 5,000 HP. He's going to grab up a little bit more. Needs to make sure he's not just standing in the range of a PD. That's a very good way to get yourself murdered. But Maximus continuing to fight it out here in the middle as the rest of the map seemingly just going to chalk. We don't have anything crazy going on here. You have players grabbing up some of these islands. Here in the middle, yet again, Sir Dongle and Maximus, they're sitting here. But Sir Dongle now taking the lion's share of the damage. Down to the red HP is Maximus, all the way below 3,000 HP. Sir Dongle also looking very much so worse for wear. Meanwhile, the Southern team taking the more, well, sane approach of not walking into the PD, instead just gonna throw some artillery at the problem, and I think they're gonna get the better situation here. They also have a lot more units, very much so thanks to Cybern Commander with his Cybern army doing a very good job at his post, being a very good commander. We got T2 on the way for Sir Dingle-Dongle, we got T2 on the way for Willow-Wisp, and we got T2 now on the way for Buttons. I don't think we have any other upgrades that have come out just yet. Yeah, it's just a bunch of T2s. Nobody going for gun. Very interesting so far in this game. Might see Maximus maybe go for the biggest, dickest play and go for nano regen, aura, and gun. That would be a very interesting play, but maybe he'll just send his comm all the way back home too. There's two different options there. Here in the middle, we have a few units fighting it out. Willow-Wisp kind of looking a little bit light on the lane forces, and on top of that, he has a ton of these Lobos instead of Strikers, which means that these Mantis going to be a little bit stronger, although the Mantis are going to be reclaimed a bit by some of these engineers, and Willow-Wisp shows up with an overcharging commander. That will be very powerful. Also, Willow-Wisp finishing up T2 the first out of anybody, which is very, very, very important. He can just walk up here, start throwing down some triads, gain control of this reclaim field, and if you were curious about how important this reclaim field is right now, well, when we zoom out a little bit, it's still over 2,000 reclaim for these players. Sir Dingle-Dongle also going to follow suit, going to throw up his own triad, going to get himself in a good position. Meanwhile, on the southern side of things, Matches just trying to throw up some walls. It looks as though he wants to focus on Navy, and who could blame him? Navy is going to be very, very powerful in this match, and speaking of which, we have Navies building up for all the players you kind of would expect. We have Matches with some Navy. We have over here Ubuntu with some Navy. We got ourselves Forest with some Navy, and we got Sir Dingle-Dongle making sure he gets his water wet, or his feet wet. Not water. Is water wet? Can water be wet? Answers in the comments. Speed and range, first gun upgrade, going to be showing up for Maximus, even though he's on very low HP. I would like to see maybe regen or nano if he really wants to get that HP up quickly. But you could just go for the tried and true method of get some damn veterancy on that comm. And yet another triad going to be thrown up. A lot of engineers, both from Sir Dingle-Dongle and Willow-Wisp here in the middle, getting a lot of value, grabbing up all of that reclaim. This engineer alone, 135 mass, 300 mass. This one, 1,200 mass. This one, 900 mass. A very, very strong showing. Sir Dingle-Dongle also getting a lot of reclaim here, so very important. We have a flank of units around here. Buttons coming around the backside. He wants to try and focus down Maximus's 3 T2 mexes here, but unfortunately all he's gonna find is some death, destruction, and some mass for his enemies to scoop into their greedy little coffers. And Maximus gonna be happy with this situation. Has speed and range on that comm if he does need to step out, and he did get extra T2 mexes up here in the front, so he's gonna be sitting on a very strong economy. Looks as though he's going for maybe that T3 air rush. Very, very tempting play out of anybody sitting in those back positions. T3 air already finished up the upgrade, but a strap bomber comes in for tie-dye, and I didn't even notice it, and that's not tie-dye. That is in fact not Dory who has the upgrade, and it is being chased down by an ASF, but maybe, just maybe, he can save it. Can he? No, he can't. He got 12 kills. Let's see exactly what kind of damage was caused by that. It did seem to get these 2 mexes, which could have been T2, down for Sir Dingle-Dongle. And it did get these 2 T2 pigeons, which is really, really gonna hurt Born here. Born's gonna have a lot of struggles getting his power grid back up and online. He is living off overflow, at least for the moment, or maybe he has a lot of power built up somewhere else. No, that has to be overflow. He doesn't even have a single power generator at the moment. So this is looking very spicy for the Red Aeon indeed. Very unfortunate turn of events. But we are going to be seeing him get that T3 air online eventually. We do have these ASF out from not Dory, going to cause some problems. As Will-O-Wisp just walking forward, continuing the PD creep, continuing his siege of terror here in the middle. He's going to get a lot of mexes, and he is the highest rated player in this game, so all eyes on him. Already getting T3 mexes finished up. And that's going to make him very strong in this game. He's also one of the higher reclaim players. Buttons slightly ahead of him, doing a little bit better on reclaim. But overall mass generation, 161 for Will-O-Wisp and only 150 for Buttons. Buttons is critically keeping up a little bit, but it's going to show these T1 mexes do add up. It's a grand total of, let's see, that's 6. Oh, the devil's number. That's going to be 18 mass generation extra just off of these alone. Wait, no, I did that math right. 6 plus 6 plus 6. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm not an idiot. Shut up. Oh. As we meander our way forward, we have a few pillars out from Will-O-Wisp, going to be taking down this position that was trying to be built up by Matches. Matches really doesn't want to get involved in land. He wants to focus on naval unit production, and he's getting out some Vespers, which will be powerful. And over here to the north, we completely missed it, but just now, Sir Dingle Dongle gets knocked out of Navy entirely. He's trying to build up some T2 PD very quickly to just kind of save his naval efforts, but he's going to have struggles because that T2 PD won't deal with these T1 subs, which will continue to naval lock him. We have a few units out over here, a few engineers out from Maximus, might want to get his toes into the water, but overall, this new strat bomber going to be a problem. It's at 39 kills, and it's coming in to drop another bomb, killing off more T2 mexes of Sir Dingle Dongle. And it's also managed to kill off some of the mexes over here belonging to Maximus. I can't believe I missed this other strat bomber, and really not Dory making his air presence known. Is he going to come back and drop more bombs? Where is he going to continue to drop these 46 kills? Over 10,000 mass killed has paid for itself. Quite the effective piece of kit there. And this northern side really capitulating, really becoming a problem for the northern team. The southern side still holding on, but how long until these units wrap around and trying to get into the production of Farius? Sir Dingle Dongle, he was sitting on a strong economy, I believe he was, but he's just struggling, and now with the strat bomber coming in and killing off what little economy he did have, he is gonna be in the gutter here soon, as far as that's concerned, and he's really going to be a non-factor very, very soon. Does rebuild a T3 Mex, or at least builds it at some point. That Mex being UEF is the only reason it's alive right now. Does get up a shield. There's some SAMs and some AA over here, but this bomber just gets to keep on going. 56 kills, 14,000 mass killed. And not Dory putting on a strong showing here. Almost all of the core mexes of Maximus, though, are up to T3. Buttons is also, he's always like 1 or 2 T3 mexes behind. Clint has built an Atlantis. That's kind of ridiculous. The 15-minute Atlantis. I love it. And that's really just not going to be very much so contested whatsoever. He could probably just sail that right on up and get himself a easy naval victory. And it's looking really rough for the northern team. Will-O-Wisp needs to throw together something amazing if he wants a chance in this game. As right now, Bourne is just, he's a little bit outclassed. He's a 1300 up against the 1700 in air. It never really goes well for the 1300. Trust me, I know, I've been in that position. And that's being generous. I'm a 1300 on a good day. On a bad day, I'm like a 900. And over here, we have Exodus classes firing away. They're going to try and take down the shield. The shield is one shot away. Oh, they might get enough HP on it just in time. No, they didn't manage it. I think it's 900 HP that this will take off, and that means that this T3 Mex is going to go down. Oh, it's over 900. It's 1100 damage, so they got pretty close. But unfortunately for them, that shield's going to pop on after the T3 Mex is dead. And Sir Dingle Dongle is in a world of pain. He takes this game very seriously, like his name would suggest, and He is very upset with the way this game has gone so far. Meanwhile, over here in the center of the map, we have Maximus, Sir Dingle Dongle, and Willow-Wisp just chilling in the hot tub of Pond Doom. 2 UEF and a Cybern walk into a hot tub. Finish the joke in the comments, please. Oh, that wasn't just 2 UEF and a Seraphim, not a Cybern. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult all the Cyberns there. And we have a fire base built out over here for Buttons. He's trying to use T2 artillery, these Gunthers, to push back Willow-Wisp, and I think he's going to be successful. Willow-Wisp now starting to build SAMs. He's going to build some artillery to try and ward away this Navy, but the Navy is just going to go around. And now Maximus throwing up a bunch of T1 torpedo launchers, but I don't think they're going to be too successful considering, well, there is at least one Exodus. He could get the Exodus with his torpedo bombers, and if he does manage to do that, that will be a very good play then. But these T1 torpedo launchers are very expensive, and they only really deal with frigates and submarines well whatsoever. And over here to the south, we have the Atlantis. It's starting to make its way forward. It's very weird to have an experimental built at 15 minutes, but then like just be able to kind of ignore it, as the Navy of Forest is really going to be in a lot of pain here. We have a lot of torpedo bombers also coming out from Tie-Dye, and the northern team just can't really deal with air threats right now, so it's getting worse and worse for this team. They're getting pushed back and back. The only bright spot right now is Willow-Wisp has finally made it to T3 land, and he's getting out Titans, and he's going to start pushing these hordes back. Also, he's getting a lot of reclaim, and a lot of reclaim in general is going to be going to this northern team, but overall mass generation, Team 1 is almost down by a whole 100 mass a second, which is not good. Forrest trying his damnedest to just not die here, but he's dealing with forces he just doesn't have a hope of defeating, and now his T2 naval HQ is going to be under threat because from the backside comes Ubuntu, who has just played Navy very, very well on this northern side, and now is going to try and win Navy for the southern side, I guess. Since this is the north, that's the south. That makes sense. And, of course, we have the Atlantis slowly encroaching, slowly moving forward. He even has the Atlantis surface so it can use its AA for any purpose needed. And it's built some ASF for him as well. Either that, no, he has T3 air. So the Atlantis doing very well. Another Atlantis going to show up. This one continuing to pummel forward, trying to get this naval production down. In the middle, we have a lot of Titans now showing up, trying to push back Cybern Commander's horde of T1 units, and they're going to be very successful at doing that. The Titan quite adept at killing off T1 units. Speed and range now on the way for Maximus. He apparently canceled the upgrade earlier. What upgrade does he have? Wait, I'm very confused. Does he not have any upgrade? I guess he doesn't. Willow-Wisp has fallen all the way back to his base, and he's starting to build SCUs. He's doing that very early compared to Buttons, who isn't building SCUs, but is able to upgrade more forward mexes and getting a lot more mexes to T3. I'm guessing Willow-Wisp isn't confident in his ability to hold this area, so he's just going to leave it at T2. And over here to the northeast, some of the Navy has managed to get cleaned up, but it just doesn't matter. The Atlantis and the Vespers, how over here on this southern side, have basically assured that nobody on the northern team will get into Navy without an significant investment into torpedo bombers. And Maximus, he's trying to make it happen. He's doing his damnedest, but he's just not able to. It would seem. We have air control and naval, so this is looking very scary. But Willow-Wisp, he's trying to be the hero. He's trying to carry. He has a bunch of Titans just going to start plowing their way forward. And there's really not much here to stop him. Nobody else has really T3 land. There are some fire bases, but the Titans can definitely deal with those. These T1 PD going to be dealt with very, very quickly. The T1 land that's coming in to try and stop him will do nothing but give veterancy over to the Titans. because they are kind of specialized in killing off these low health units very, very quickly. And now it's coming down to killing off the engineers trying to build T1 PD and killing off this fire base. And overall, the Titans doing very well. We also have another experimental out over here. We have an experimental coming out from Tie-Dye. He's managed to build up a Fat Boy, which could be huge. And over here, Buttons is a madman, just reclaiming on the other side of the map. And that's how he has 21,000 reclaim total. And he is the leader economically in this game, now starting to build his own Rascoms. And right over here, we have ourselves more Titans who are just going to continue to push in. But now the large T1 force out from Cybern Commander is going to start pushing its way into the middle. But the Titans have been replenished. He's built more Titans behind this. It does cut off his force from reinforcements, but this is going to leave a huge reclaim field right here. But also, he now needs to hold this area that he's pushed forward into. He can't allow the enemy team to get into this reclaim field. He needs it for himself. The reclaim field here in the middle also going to do wonders for him if he can manage to hold on to it. And Will-O-Wisp, trying really hard to make land mean something in this game, would in fact love to see him come down here to the south and just try and kill off all this before it gets fortified. But T1 bombers, T3 gunships, everything's going to just start coming out. Strat bombers out from Buttons, showing up, dropping bombs, and the Titans, they're not going to stand tall much longer. Soon they're going to be 6 feet under. Put them in the dirt. As up here to the north, we have ourselves a Valiant versus Mini Exodus. And fun fact, the Valiant's good, but not that good. And we have submarines given an assist command onto this Atlantis. This Atlantis has its little Cybran babies following it around at any given time. And torpedo bombers trying their damnedest. This Atlantis really should surface. It can just sit here and pluck off torpedo bombers like none other. And is it going to? It is indeed going to surface. I love to see this micro coming out from Clint. A very heads-up play. The Atlantis is arguably one of my favorite experimentals. I really do love it. I just love the idea of a giant submarine. And over here to the west, the naval units out from Ubuntu, not really getting too much more done. Tie-Dye has built an experimental. He already had the Fat Boy. Did he build another one? No, he built a Novax. That's a very spicy play. And the Fat Boy is now being used. He's trying to set it up with the forces out from Will-O-Wisp to help him out, but the Strat Bombers come in, and I think they may just be enough to kill off this Fat Boy. As Tie-Dye gonna lose his Fat Boy to the hands of Not Dory, the two players with very similar colors. I guess they don't look too similar when they're right next to each other, but they're both browns. And over here to the east, this aircraft carrier, this Atlantis, is getting so many kills with those missiles. Shooting down a lot of those air units. Would love to see the second Atlantis that was being built, if it's finished up, come link up with its sister ship and help with the anti-air efforts. As here in the middle, more Titans are pushing forward. They're going to constantly, they have to. They don't really have a choice. A lot of reclaim dropped over here for Matches. Matches should be climbing up the reclaim board with that. Where is Matches? Matches is right here, 12,000. I think before he was quite a bit lower. He lost all of those engineers, but he's trying to get in and get into that reclaim field as best as he can. Strat Bomber is being used for land defense. Really reminiscent of the old days before we had T3 Mobile AA. Our Strat Bombers were just really good at dealing with land once you got to that phase of the game. And now SAMs are going to be thrown up across the map, it would seem, for Will-O-Wisp. How many is he already sitting on? He's sitting on 8, and he's going to have to build a lot more than 8 if he wants a chance at holding on to this area for too much terribly longer. Sir Dingle Dongle has built an experimental. What did he build? He built his own Fat Boy to try and help with naval defense. And in fact, the Fat Boy is really good on this map, because if you just walk it up to the edge right here, there's not really area where they can run away from you. And I think that's what he intends to do. He's going to also try and use the shield on that Fat Boy to help him build a fire base here to stop the naval incursions. Up to 53 kills and 3 ranks of veterancy onto this submarine, but the Novax is going to be they're going to try and use it to deal with some of this Navy. An experimental built by Buttons. It's a megalith. Where'd that first Fat Boy die? I guess it's already been reclaimed, unless I'm just a little bit blind. Yeah, it must have already been reclaimed by, I would guess, Will-O-Wisp or whoever has the most reclaim right now. It's not. Buttons, though, didn't reclaim a Fat Boy. Maybe they bombed the Fat Boy reclaim. Either way. Strap Bomber is being used yet again. Will-O-Wisp keeps on pushing in, and he's taking away territory. He's taking away mexes from the enemy team. But he's dropping a lot of mass on them at the same time. It's hard to say who's right in this situation. But right now, this northern team just really feeling the pain. They're starting to think, how can they get some standoff technology to protect themselves? Will-O-Wisp points out the megalith. Did manage to kill off at least one of those T3 mexes. As Torrent-class missile ships appear off the shorelines of Team 1. How will they deal with this threat? They're gonna need a lot of tactical missile defense. And they're gonna need it soon, because these missile ships are nothing to play around with. In come missiles. They're gonna slowly kill off these Ravagers right here. Those Ravagers, I dare say, are getting ravaged. And the Atlantis, forced to submerge, could probably re-emerge. 100 HP a second for 4 ranks of veterancy. I think it might just be able to tank the DPS of a defense satellite. I guess I could check that really quick. How much DPS? 240. Never mind, it couldn't tank it, but it could survive for a very long time. 140 damage per second takes a long time to chew through, 56,000 HP. Second Atlantis, sitting off the shore, going to continue to be able to fire on these air units, but unfortunately can't fire if they are landed, it would seem. And Will-O-Wisp running out of steam. The megalith starting to push its way forward. And get some damage done. Wants to push in and deal damage to this fire base. But I don't know if it's going to be able to do too terribly much. That's a lot of Ravagers already. Tie-Dye. The 3 UEF of Doom here in the middle are just... Wow, that's 3 Fat Boys. Okay, the UEF are really, really making a strong showing here in this game. They're like, we will hold this area. And 3 Fat Boys is a very scary force if they can get some form of protection in the air. Also, this Fat Boy right here is not a scary force because it doesn't deal with this many Titans very well. In fact, some of the Titans are about to get underneath that shield, and that's a very scary proposition for a Fat Boy. Fat Boy gonna run for the water. Will it be able to make that happen is the question. Need to change target priority to experimental if he wants any chance of this working. He's just gonna fire on the Fat Boy now. He wants to kill it, but I don't think he'll be able to. Friendly fire may be helping him a little bit there. The megalith is going to be forced back, and with the Fat Boys approaching, megalith going to have to think twice about moving forward. 2 Fat Boys right there. The Torrent-class missile ships getting killed off by a Novax. That's very nice. That's a very nice use for a Novax, actually. That really solves one of their problems. But now there's a GC walking through the water, this sneaky boy going to show up on their shores. And over here in the middle, we have ourselves more Strat Bombers coming in. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything, but Megalith on Fat Boy action. This Megalith has taken a lot of damage, and it's getting shot at by 2 Fat Boys. Will it be enough? Will the Megalith die? I think it will. First Fat Boy goes down. Second Fat Boy starting to lose its shield. 28,000 HP. This Megalith may be able to trade 2 for 1 if it's lucky. Maximus now starting to push forward. He's going to be focused down by the guns of the Megalith. The Megalith goes down just in time. And Maximus makes his way out of there unscathed. Over here to the east, this other Fat Boy is trying to make inroads. There's still 2 Fat Boys over here for the northern team. Maximus with advanced nano T3 and gun. I think that's a bit of a mistake with the T3. You should get second gun when you're Seraphim and it's 32 minutes in. You can definitely afford it. Also, as a chicken, he wants to make a land push, but he needs some form of air presence. And right now, the air presence, I mean, it does look as though Will-O-Wisp and Born are maybe getting up there. If they conglomerate their ASF, it may just be enough. But there's a lot of air presence for the southern team, and that's a lot of Strat Bombers. And Maximus may just decide to throw the chicken, his commander, and a lot of units into the water and come out on land over here. And that might be a very spicy play. That is obscene. I love it. That's a lot of... he templated T2 shield... Or he templated... What is this? This is a T2 shield with surrounding T2 mass fabs. That's brilliant. You know what? I can't criticize that. Maximus, now under a bit of fire, actually going to take way more damage from friendly fire from Fat Boys than he ever would from all these hunters. Actually, no, I think the Hunter's probably doing a little bit more damage. But now there's a GC walking forward, and I think Maximus has met his fate. He's got 40,000 HP, but he has no chance of getting underwater in time. And that GC just has to step onto land. It will die for it, but it'll get rid of one of the players. And this beefy commander doesn't even have to fully get out of the water. And Strat Bombers come in, and down goes Maximus. But there is a chicken and a Fat Boy still kind of just chilling here. And they will be transferred over. The GC gets out of the water to start shooting at the chicken. Oh, that's so dirty. The GC is just peeking its little head out. 1 second. Oh, I didn't slow down in time. GC gonna walk its way out. Oh man, this game is so beautiful. Just had to get you that slow-mo shot. Strategic launch detected. I don't want to chat, game. I don't want to chat. Nope, go away. And where is that strategic launch? It's coming out of the base of Not Dory. And it's gonna make its way northward. Is he going to be able to make something happen with this? We also have the Fat Boy over here. Is going to run back into the water, try and get some safety with this Atlantis, but a Fat Boy is going to get killed off by Percival's pretty quickly, and that shot doesn't manage. It hits the water, and the nuke lands in this pond. Does it kill off any players? No, it doesn't. Tie-Dye, I think, was the only player remaining there, and Tie-Dye is going to continue to run into the pond. And the GC no longer going to threaten it. But this northern side looking very dangerous. Also, critically, it was a share until death. So Maximus, everything he had was lost. Where was that Fat Boy? That Fat Boy was obviously gifted to him, so it does come back to him. Where did the Fat Boy die? It died, I guess, over here. Or maybe that was another fat boy. Wherever it died, it's very dead right now. And this GC now has Tie-Dye stuck into a very precarious position. And that base needs to be rebuilt, preferably by somebody like Willow-Wisp. As air control maybe was handed over. I didn't see the air fight, but no, yeah, it looks like air control has just been handed over to the northern team. Finally, something going well for the boys in the north. And with air control, can they make anything happen? They now have the capability of pushing on land, but it looks as though maybe they just don't have the land facilities anymore, especially with this Fat Boy and GC killing off the last of this T3 forward production for Willow-Wisp. It's just when they have control of one thing, they lose it. These players trading everything back and forth. Surprised they're not already swapping spit at this point.
Strategic launch detected.
Strategic launch detected. Tie-Dye forced into a very sad position where he's gonna die or he's gonna die, is what it looks like. He's tied in ways to die. He's gonna try and just stay away from the GC. If he can survive long enough for the nuke to just land, he'll be okay. Okay, he doesn't manage to thread it just right, and Tie-Dye goes down. Oh no, it's a disaster. And Willow-Wisp, given the ... unhappy with the performance of his teammates. Now building himself a chicken. And trying to get himself set up. He's up to nearly 600 mass a second, but Buttons is blowing him out of the water with nearly 1,000. And Willow-Wisp puts that down. Buttons ACU right there. If he can get a snipe onto that, maybe he has a chance, but even then, Not Dory will get a pretty good prize for being just as difficult to deal with. Doesn't have the same economy, but does have a Duke on the way. And in fact, I think we might already have artillery online. Yes, we do. We have 2 emissaries out from our boy Ubuntu, who we didn't really talk about much other than his torrents and his early naval victory. And now he's just setting up to try and be the biggest form of problem he can. Chicken on GC. Chicken wins, especially when there's a couple of Ravagers involved against the GC. But that chicken gonna be a little bit low on HP, not gonna want to send it out. Can probably try and kill off the Fat Boy with it, but that Fat Boy sitting on 5 ranks of veterancy, 83,000 mass killed, has been very effective thus far. And bases are gonna be rebuilt by these players. All of the reclaim over here going over to Sir Dingle Dongle, who's trying to build a Novax. He already has one, he's getting another. How many Novax can they build? If they build enough, it'll be enough. Duke has also finished up over here for Parius. And it's firing back, but I'm not sure if it's getting any real damage done. We're in that stage of the game where we're down to artillery. And Fat Boy versus Chicken. This Fat Boy gonna add more to its resume, it would seem. Because I don't think this Chicken has enough gumption to kill it. No, never mind. Chicken's gonna kill it off. Well, I was wrong. That chicken just really wanted to kill some trees. And now all of these hunters out from Cybern Commander, who has just kind of been... He doesn't understand that you can upgrade land factories. He has T3 air, but doesn't understand that T2 land exists. Well, he's gonna send a whole bunch of hunters. That Shocker feels really good with its 6 kills, but getting like nothing towards veterancy. What is Willow-Wisp's plan, is my question. Sending out UEF RAS commanders to kill off hunters. Honestly, they're going to be very good at it. I think they one-shot them. They're going to take a lot of damage here. Needs to be careful. But they will be able to kind of just stand here and be a wall. Needs to make sure they're not getting hit by strap bomber friendly fire out from Bourne. And the best part about this is the overkill is so much that this isn't even a mass dump. You can see very clearly right here that almost all of the hunters leave behind no reclaim. And they're gonna manage to kill off a RAS SCU if they're lucky. As artillery blows are being exchanged. I'm very surprised we haven't seen anybody try and get an experimental through the water. We saw the GC out from Ubuntu trying it kind of half-heartedly. It came out of the water here, but I'm surprised they didn't just decide to send it all the way up here. Seems like it'd be a home run play. Shielding over here around the Duke of Parius is faltering. Another shield clicks on just in time, but that's going to be some dead T3 mexes. Oh, and that power generator is going to go down. Parius taking a lot of damage here. Needs to be careful. And the Duke, oh, the shields flick on just in time, but that Duke not going to survive to see another day, I don't think. Income, one artillery shell is all it takes. There's only 2 shields left that can protect it, and they're not close to being done regenerating. And I think this artillery position's gonna be gone. Another nuke has been launched. Where is it going? Where? Where was this nuke? I have no idea. Oh, it was out from the northern team. It's heading down to the south. Where is he gonna try and hit? Is he trying to hit the commander of Buttons? No, he's not, but he's gonna hit all of these T2 mass FAF farms and even get some of the RAS SUs for his trouble. And Buttons needs to build shields because the satellite could get him at any moment, and Buttons is very important right now. Buttons does manage to survive, but with that nuke, Buttons needs to be worried. I don't think Buttons has an anti-nuke in his base. He doesn't. In fact, the nearest anti-nuke is Ubuntu. You could place a nuke right here on the edge and get a lot of value. That was a very heads-up play coming out from Sir Dingle Dongle. And we now have Salem's lining up in the bay. It's Salem Bay, and they're going to start trying to kill off some of this. And in came strap bombers? Oh, I missed it. Oh, wait, no, in came more Novaxes. Sir Dingle Dongle showed up with another Novax, and I think there was also strap bombers, and down goes Buttons, who had the strongest economy in the game. Buttons going down alone has really evened up the economic totals here. In fact, it means that Team 1 is only behind by about... Well, with reclaim, it's going to be a little bit fucky, but by about 1,000 or 400 or 500 maybe. And Chickens over here, out from Will-O-Wisp. He's just building lines of them, trying to send them out to deal damage. With air control, this team could continue to push it forward, and it's looking like Team 1 may have found a way back into this game. Does still have to be worried about the naval threat. In fact, Bourne going to be focusing a lot of his build power right now on repairing shields, but I don't think it'll be enough. T2PD going to be thrown up by Parias. He wants to try and help out, but I don't think he's going to do very much if these Salems decide they don't want to get shot at by triads. And out comes a bunch of torpedo bombers, but they can't hit the Salems that are now out of the water. Million mass. Is that really? No, it's not. It's only 340,000 mass, okay? Stop lying. The anti-nuke being targeted. More shields going to be thrown up. I don't think that this double Novax will get too much done here. But good to see them trying. The triple chicken in the middle. One chicken goes down. The other two very healthy and gonna avoid that ion storm. But two chickens right now. I'm not really sure what they'd use to stop that, but I'm sure they will come up with a solution very quickly. Born losing air grid to 3 Salems. These 3 Salems getting way more efficiency than they ever deserved to. And in comes a bunch of strap bombers. It seems as though they're going for Born's commander. But he is under enough shielding to make himself survive that. But he's going to lose his air grid. And it's looking really bad for this northern team. Will-O-Wisp still on a very strong economy. Does have the 2 chickens out in the middle of the map. But it's not really going to be enough, is it? And now we have 1, 2, 3... Oh, a chicken managed to make it all the way in the back. Did he walk it all the way around? He teleported an SCU into the back to build a chicken. When did this happen? And not Dory. Now gonna be very dead. Gonna go join Dory and swim with the fishes. And that chicken now gonna be able to turn its focus away from not Dory, send it all into killing off these 2 remaining emissaries because the Duke is already dead, or 3 emissaries in fact, or get rid of the anti-nuke. Getting rid of the anti-nuke is more than enough, but Sir Dingle Dongle goes down to, I'm guessing, combined artillery fire and a Novax. The nuke, anti-nuke gonna go down. Ubuntu control Ks. And it's just it's a nightmare of a situation right now. It's now down to a 3v3, and overall economies, I think that Team 1 is finally ahead economically thanks to Will-O-Wisp. Team 1 is ahead economically for the first time in a long time. That's a Maver trying to be built by Paris, who he has almost 300 mass a second. It's worth a try, I guess. These 2 Salems have gotten way more value than they ever deserved to get. Just build gunships! Oh, he's trying so hard to stop this. The Atlantis finally goes down. Was that the hero Atlantis with all the kills? No, it wasn't. Nuke out for our boy Matches. He gets shot down. Is this anti-nuke still alive? But more Salems starting to come in, and Will-O-Wisp is forced to deal with it by spamming lines of Ravagers. Does he have an intel issue? He does have an intel issue. Oh, they lost their Omni or something. These Ravagers need to be firing non-stop if they want to stop all of these Salems. The Salem's now going to be focused down by Restorers and Spectres, but it just may not be enough. The T3 Air HQ managing to survive so long has actually been a huge boon over here to Born. Will-O-Wisp not even rebuilding mexes, sitting on a very strong economy without them. And he has chickens now pushing in. He has 2 chickens coming in the front door. This one is in a very good position. This chicken over here walked into the base of Clint. Will it be enough? I'm not sure, but the GC showing up. Another GC gonna finish, and that may just be enough, but he's gonna lose a lot of economy thanks to this chicken's wreck going down, or at least he's gonna lose a lot of power generators. Maybe some RAS SCUs thanks to chain explosions. Is that shield really gonna protect all of these SCUs and everything? Wow. Shielding gonna eat all of the chicken's Ion Storm. You love to see it. Aeon is just better. And now there's 2 GCs you have to worry about. There is another chicken in the water. But that chicken's now gonna become a sword of Damocles. Just kind of gets to sit offshore and say, hey, you can't send those GCs out. Another nuke launched. All of the Salems walking onto land. Trying to make some damage happen, going for the Ravagers. There's lines of Ravagers going down, more Spectres showing up, trying their damnedest to stop more Salem incursions. A Duke now going up. He's building multiple Novaxes. He's got this chicken in the water. It's slowly dying to Atlantis. The 2 hero Atlantis died. One over here and the other over here. They've killed so many air units in their time. Use SAT to kill SMD. There's only really... I mean, I guess there's 2 SMDs left, so a nuke is a very real proposition right now. Make that 3. The southern team in a very strong position. How's the Maver doing? You know, it's getting up there. It's up to... I don't know what that is, 15%? Yeah. In comes more Salems. Just seems Salems are being built constantly down here by Cybran Commander, who has finally switched off from the T1 land spam. A real Cybran enthusiast building all of the high notes of the Cybran. And that satellite there trying to chip away, get a lot of damage done, but it's just not managing to punch through. And overall, these players, they've been playing for 50 minutes in real time. They probably slowed down to -1 or -2 at some point. They were over an hour of gameplay time, I would guess. And you have to imagine that that's going to get to them. That's going to make them make some errors in judgment. And with only 3 commanders left on either side, you have to wonder how they're going to manage it. But you also just have to take into account that this is Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is going to be the force to be reckoned with if he can just manage to hold out against the overwhelming naval aggression and this air problem that's presented itself that is Cybran Commander, who really is kind of taking the game into his own hands. He's the one doing all the pushing. He's the one making things happen right now. He's trying to put Will-O-Wisp onto the back foot, which is a tall order indeed. But I believe in this little 800. He's the little 800 who could. And he really is making inroads. He's slowly pushing back. Will-O-Wisp, despite having a quarter of his economy, he's trying to make things happen. Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit my mic there. Don't know how much that came through on audio. And we have this Duke finished. Second one going up. Maver being built as fast as Forest can. What is Will-O-Wisp gonna do? I all eyes on him, really. We got multiple GCs. Those 2 GCs from earlier, they're making their way up. They're gonna make landfall. It really is a situation where you kind of just feel that Will-O-Wisp needs more Ravagers, but he's built so damn many of the things. But he can't build them kind of on the periphery because this Novax is just a constant, ever-present issue. You have an emissary going up for matches, but matches' real strength right now is these GCs. He's going to try and burn down the base of Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp seeming to be a little bit tired, not really responding to things. Wondering what his plan for all these Salems is. Does have some artillery built up, and they have managed to kill off some of them. And now over here in the middle, he has 2 SMDs right here, both loaded. Needs to be careful to protect these. Novak's focusing on them. And a bunch of Salems landing down here to the south. That's a few strap bombers now coming in from Cybran Commander. Neither side really having a large air force just means that whoever builds the aggressive air units is seemingly doing better. In come the strap bombers to try and kill off, I would guess, some RAS SCUs. They're not going to get them. Varius up to 30% almost. Yep, 30% with that Maver. Double Duke now online. Third Duke queued up. Does still have a Novaxes sitting around. I'm guessing he's going to start using these Novaxes for base defense And Novaxes are going to be able to kill Salem's pretty damn well. And he's just going to use massive amounts of Dukes to push through and break down the bases. Needs to be careful, though. There's now Salem's going to be attacking from multiple sides. The GCs make landfall. And in they come towards the base, conga lining their way through. Oh no, after you. I insist. I'm very polite. Alright, so here come the GCs. What are they gonna do to stop this? What is Will-O-Wisp? What is Born going to do? Because this is about all they have. It's starting to look a little bit desperate. Lots of Ravagers being thrown up all over the place by all the SCUs that can. Will-O-Wisp gonna start running away with the ACU. First GC to walk in is starting to eat a lot of damage from these Ravagers, but there's a lot of HP to chew through. Some Spectres showing up from Born. Oh no, the Duke's now gonna be under threat. The SMD going down. The Ravager's gonna slowly be able to kill this off. They're trying to chase down the commander of Born. They're trying to chase down the commander of Will-O-Wisp. Salem's also pushing in on the north. The Duke grid gonna be in danger of going down, but I don't think it will. I think it's gonna be saved by the fact that there are so many Ravagers built up here and all this shielding. Also, the Ravagers will help with the newfound Salem problem. But a nuke is coming in. Is there an anti-nuke that can stop it? A nuke coming out of the nuke sub. Will it land? Will it won't? Will they? Won't they? How is it gonna go down? If this lands, it will be huge. If it doesn't, I think Will-O-Wisp may have weathered the worst of the storm, but it does land, and on top of killing off some very important key structures, it kills off a lot of very important SCUs. Need to make sure he has more shields going up, needs to build more shielding, needs to just protect these Dukes. But how is he going to protect the Dukes now up against these Salems, which are coming in trying to deal damage? Will-O-Wisp doing his damnedest to just try and keep the Dukes alive. Has his own Novaxes focusing everything they can on one Salem at a time. But it may not be enough. Gonna have to build more and more shielding, maybe even assist shielding with the SCUs. Oh, the Duke's gonna be focused down. Oh no, that Duke taking a lot of damage. A new shield flicks on just in time. And now over here on the southern side, more Dukes, more Salem showing up, but there's also a bunch of Hunters. He's trying to go for the anti-nukes. It's his focus right now. Is he gonna be able to get them? Is the question. Needs something to deal with this now. He just has so many struggles. Has his Novaxes, 3 of them, gonna show up. If he can kill the Salems, maybe everything else can just be dealt with by the T2PD there. What are the Novaxes doing? Needs to get them on these Salems ASAP. And right now it's starting to look like these SMD may go down. He needs those to survive. Has another SMD back here that's going to be loaded relatively soon. So maybe it's not so important. Maybe the Dukes are more important. Emissary fire now coming out of matches down onto this base, which has just been forever under siege. Maver up to a grand total of 53% and rising. Forrest building it with 83 mass a second and whatever reclaim he can get. And honestly, I think he's getting a lot of reclaim from up here in the north. Strat bombers coming in. They're going to mainly impact that shield. That SMD going to stay alive at least for now, but down goes the SMD. The other SMD is loaded. So he still has an SMD loaded, but I don't know what that protects and what it doesn't. It protects most of the base. It protects it enough. Strat bombers coming in. Will-O-Wisp now under fire from Novaxes. There's just constant sieging things coming in. Now T2 artillery coming out from these SCUs built out by Clint. And one of the Dukes does go down. And the Dukes really weren't getting through, I don't think. Maybe they were. Now the Novaxes are going to come in. What is Will-O-Wisp gonna do? Just constantly under fire, all constant pressure. And Will-O-Wisp just doesn't seem to have the answer for it. This is hilarious. It is. It is very funny.
Strategic launch detected.
Worth a try. I wish I could contribute. Oh, even if the Maver ends or finishes, will it matter? It's just a Navy that'll deal with it immediately. Although the Southern team doesn't even have an inkling that this exists, which is quite funny. Nuke does land, killing off more SCUs. Will-O-Wisp up to 700%. If it works, I'll laugh my ass off. They point out Willow's comm, which is constantly moving at this point. They really want to kill off Willow. And I get it. Happens to me all the time. And man, this game has been action-packed, but I think the writing is on the wall. Team 1, there was an inkling of a moment where it looked like they could win when the 3 chickens were all around the base, when the chickens got in the back, when Buttons and not Dory died so quickly, but these lower-rated players, man, Clint, Cybern Commander, and Matches, they just didn't let the pressure go up. They just kept the gas going. They never slowed down for a moment. And especially Cybern Commander deserves some kind of respect here. I'm not going to say he played amazingly, but like, these Salems really claim in clutch. Heads up play to build all of them. Is Duke still firing? Not really getting too much done. What's it firing at? Is it trying to get rid of the Novax? I mean, he could just kill the enemy Novax if he wanted to. Is he going to try and kill Matches? Matches! In a very scary position. Oh, but Matches gets away. Stop shooting me with Novax. Will-O-Wisp. His comm has been forced back and back and back and back. Cybern Commander is sitting on a stupid economy somehow. Actually, it's kind of hard to tell who has what economy with how much reclaim is coming in. 184,000 reclaim for Will-O-Wisp, who is just continuing to fall back and continuing to fight it out. He has 1 anti-nuke left, and it has 1 shield that's up. Well, now no shield that's up. And Will-O-Wisp is continuing to build up Ravagers. Oh, but the SMD, it started getting focused down, but it manages to survive. Could Will-O-Wisp build another shield? This is a question, and I don't think he's going to. I think he's probably accepted defeat here. And the Maver almost assuredly is going to finish 93%. Yeah. Especially if he starts getting some mass from somewhere. I mean, he's reclaiming across the map still. 9.4 thousand mass into Parius. You can't even store that much. But that's going to be almost enough to finish off this Maver. Maybe if Will-O-Wisp and Born can continue to hold out long enough, can continue to just be a thorn in the side long enough, and continue to just take the brunt of this damage, the secret Maver can win the game. It's so funny that the Maver still hasn't been seen. You can see the vision here. It's because they're all hugging the shoreline. What the fuck? Since when was there a Maver? Heck. Oh my god. We just got to get that first shot from the Maver, everybody. There we go. We just had to see it. Was that a player control Kang? No, it wasn't. A Fat Boy has been built. Will-O-Wisp is just playing a survival game. When will they notice the Maver is the question. It's obvious where it's coming from, but maybe they think there's another Duke or something. Already. There's still Novaxes. Will-O-Wisp still trying his damnedest. Honestly, it kind of feels like a right-click each of their commanders and pray kind of moment. If you get it down to just one of these players, if you kill off Cybran Commander in particular, a lot of this pressure is relieved. Or if you kill off Matches, and they're both very close to each other in this area. I don't know where Clint is. Clint is off in the water. He's in La La Land. They just need to get a kill onto one of these players. Will-O-Wisp just needs to hold out a little bit longer. The Maver will punch through, you can assume. And the Maver is starting to drop shells over here onto Cybran Commander. Buttons says already the 1800 from the grave is going to tell them. He says Maver. Telly. Oh. Cybran Commander needs to move his comm. He's getting pings on it. Oh! That was so close. If that was a headshot, Cybran Commander would go down. Oh, Cybran Commander, you need to kill that comm. The two Novaxes can get him. Oh, no, they can't because a shield was built immediately. Cybran Commander with a quick reactions. There's no S&Ds. Maver. Strategic. Did I just hear a strategic launch detected? I did. It's going to land in between Will-O-Wisp and Born. Is it going to get both of them? It doesn't get Will-O-Wisp. It gets Born, but Will-O-Wisp now walking into Salem's and Hunters is going to die. Forrest says, oh, they found it. The Maver goes down before it had a chance to kill off anyone. Will-O-Wisp goes down. Forrest gonna go down in a matter of moments. Thank you all for watching. You've been beautiful. This is Willow signing off. I shouldn't have said that. I said that wrong. Thank you all for watching. You've been beautiful. Thank you to the patrons and channel members. They help this channel a ton and they support me a bunch. If you want to support the channel that way, I really appreciate it. There's links in the descriptions or the join button down below. Other than that, you can always help out the channel with a super thanks or just simply subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. You all are beautiful. This is Willow, signing off.
Strategic launch detected.
But if I lay down and I play dead